Hi everybody, I'm back again. This time I'm going to show you a really simple distressed stencil finish. We're going to use two colors of metallics. We're going to use a black base coat like we have right here. We're going to utilize one of my Harlequin stencils, this nice big diamond pattern. These are about 1.5 inches in length. And we're going to use one of my stencil brushes. Now, the stencil brushes are made by Dynasty. They're a little bit different than a traditional brush. If you have a close look at the tip of this brush, it's got a little extra. Instead of being completely blunt, it has a very cool little element that sticks out just a bit. And these are ideal for working on textured surfaces or smooth surfaces, fabrics, things like that, because it allows you to move the paint around. So I'm going to show you a really easy distressed Harlequin. And essentially what this is a finish that looks as if the pattern is worn through or a little bit incomplete. And I'm going to use two colors. I'm going to use Worn Penny. This is the Decor Dazzling Metallics. And I'm going to use Splendid Gold. And I like this contrast because it gives you some nice variations and it creates a little bit of texture at the same time. So what you're going to do is you're going to position your stencil. And I like to take it off the page a little bit so that it doesn't look too perfect, and it has a little bit of continuity. It appears as if it started somewhere else and carried on. However, I'm going to turn this around a little bit. So I'm taking it off the page or off the surface just a little bit on this side and along the bottom. And I'm going to line up so that it's at least straight. And I'm going to use a little bit of painter's tape to hold it in place. And I intentionally did not clean this stencil so that you are able to see where the stencil is on this black background. So then I'm going to take my stencil brush and my little bit of shop towel, and I'm going to pick up a little bit of each color, a little copper and a little bit of the gold, and I'm going to tap the stencil brush just to take the excess out. And then I'm going to just tamp the stencil like so, up and down. And one of the things you'll notice is that I am not completely covering the image. When you run out of paint, you go back, you pick up a little bit more. Now you want it opaque in some areas and less so in others. You can brush it a little if you want to soften the appearance of it. So I'm going to tap, tap, tap. I like adding a little more of the copper. I really like this effect, this color combination on black. It's really quite dramatic. So you tamp like this, so that you get a few of the edges solid. I'm going to soften some of these a little. And then you're going to take your stencil and you're going to move it. And you're going to line up over top of the first set of images, like so. And we're going to do this. Now, this one is going to be incomplete and faint at the edge. And I'll pick up a little more paint. And you're going to continue this until you have sort of a hit and miss type look. Now, some of these diamonds are going to be very incomplete, others less so. Some are going to be faint, some are going to be more solid. And if you have a close look, isn't that an interesting effect? Now you can carry this along. It makes a great background, so you can carry this along the whole surface and simply move the stencil along, making sure that you line it up with the previous set of design. And again, you just tamp, tamp, tamp. Like I said, some more solid than others, some less so. Some with more copper than others, some with more gold. And you simply keep moving along until you have the whole surface done, or as much of the surface done as you want to cover. Now, I really like this particular finish where you have a lot of this sort of broken appearance so that it looks as if they've worn away over time. It makes for an interesting result, and it's quite pretty. So you, as I said, you can add more gold and less copper. Now once this is completely dry, you can wash over this with a little bit of black, knock it back just a little bit, make it less shiny and give it a more aged appearance. Or you can actually just paint directly over this, and then when you shade in behind it, it pushes it back just a little bit. I'm going to show you very quickly the end result, or what it should look like. I'm working on this piece, a cafe sign. It gives you a nice distressed appearance in behind. Try this on one of your next projects. It's very easy to do. It's very dramatic, very bold, and it's such a pretty finish, especially for some old European looks and really elegant behind florals. It's an easy one. Thanks for joining me. We'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.